4v3.
Everfrog Esports trying to find what angle they can, trying to find somebody out of position.
We're gonna go through on this. Oh, what a roll. Whoa! White gonna go in.
It's going to be a really, really interesting one.
Oh my god. All of this competition could be so damn close, so I cannot wait for us to finally decide who's going to be the champion. We are expecting some chaos, some great moments.
A beast mode has killed 3. Only gonna really need that rampage, so it's gonna clear it out. Sanji gonna give themselves a big old 4K. Sanji's getting rid of 3, clearing out the house.
That is crazy.
Nunji actually kills 3 people.
This team feels entirely different on this faster composition. Now Cyberport is hanging around, getting onto the high ground. Post bomb's gonna stick under Leaky. They're not gonna be able to survive it at the end of the day. Manages to find a 3K.
Rio shoving this Ana into a corner. Woo! One more for the road for Rio.
That is all signs go. Melophobia with 3 Melophobia. Start the fight. They'll end the fight. Oh my god. Beagle Bus, they have to play aggressively into this energy. Popping off in a moment where you needed just that. Ruby in that backline. Oh, the flick. Looking for it. Oh my goodness. The 4th one as well. Do they get the ace? They get the ace.
Success is a journey, not a destination, but for the players still fighting in the playoffs, there is one destination: the history books of CGL, to have their names etched in it as champions. Welcome back to Saturday Night Overwatch, where playoff season is fully underway and we're getting to the heated final games of a lot of these brackets. My name is Gio. I'll be hosting for you alongside the wonderful desk of Spectrum, Joker, and Ray. Now, the match we're going to watch today is in the loser bracket of the GMEU tier between the teams of the Godstack and EMC Helheim. We saw the Godstack's loser bracket match last time, Spec. Looking back on that match, what were your main takeaways?
I think the narrative that we were going into that match with was Team EXE. We very much expected them to go deep. We expected them to go far, right? But I think a team with players like Junofish, like Palos, really weren't able to get their teeth into this new meta, right? Juno, they were really struggling with this Naga, really struggling to find some strong engages. And, on a meta where these DPS are very utility-based, very frontline trading-based, where you can't just flank and kill too, right? I think we did see Beast Mode Palos really struggle to find the same impact. So, bit of a collapse from them. And, almost to my eyes, it seemed like the Godstack didn't have to do anything really ridiculous, do anything really proactive. They kind of just sat there, played their composition, and waited for their opponents to crash themselves to pieces on their shores.
Sometimes the unforced error is the best one to exploit, so they definitely did that, and they'll be looking to do it again against EMC Helheim. Joker, there's been lots of great matches, spectacular in many different areas of the word. What's been your main takeaway of this playoff season?
If you don't know how to play Mauga right now, it's kind of a real detriment, especially if you're coming against a team that knows this comp inside and out. And I mean, but we've seen a lot of adaptation from teams that don't feel comfortable on the Mauga. I'm thinking of the game last night in the console open tier, console open tier for Short Bus versus YE Snowfall. Neither of the team really played Mauga throughout it, and both teams looked really good. But again, that's all on the back of your DPS, because those two teams have incredible DPS. So if you have good DPS players, you can get away from the Mauga right now.
Well, yeah, we might be sick of hearing his name, but Mauga is a very important asset in this current meta, and it has really helped the Godstack as well. We saw that in their previous matchup, but there is a patch looming around the corner, single-digit days away. Ray, when a patch comes into such a crucial moment of a tournament like this, it's happened before in CGL as well, what do the teams need to be ready for this new patch, especially if it's right before their grand finals match?
Flexibility of your players is always going to be key. Being able to, not be a team who's hard stuck. We got to play like Reaper May. We got to have the ability to swap to hit scan, swap to flankers. Your tank flexibility is going to be key because, just if we throw Lifeweaver out the window, every other hero who was released always had viability as soon as, Venture wasn't necessarily like the OP, but they had viability in the meta. So, Hazard, whether they're going to be full on OP overpowered, I think regardless, there's going to be situations where you play him, you play some sort of a dive with him. So you're going to have to be ready and be able to pick up that hero pretty quickly.
Exactly. Flexibility is very important in this acrobatic esports
Feature.
that we call Overwatch.
Feature. Are we allowing Hazard next week?
Oh, good question.
I assume not, right?
I don't.
Yeah,
there's no Hazard. There's no Hazard next week, so that.
Oh, okay, that's at least good,
I
but
think,
it's still meta can shift easily.
Oh, yeah.
I think they're gonna hard nerf Mauga on this patch.
I think they're gonna finally.
If you said they're gonna nerf, they're not nerfing
They're
Juno.
gonna,
I've been
gonna
asking to
finally
Juno
nerf
for like 3
Juno.
months.
They're gonna finally nerf Juno. They've got to, right? I mean, it's been 3 months.
Listen, as I'm sure everybody has heard me rant about Juno at least 3 times by this point, so I'm not gonna, quadruple dip. But like, Lord of mercy, we gotta get that character down. It kind of reminds me of release Brigitte, where she just got paper cut a million times and keeps being the closest thing to God that exists in Overwatch, right? So we'll see if that actually happens or not. The important thing is that Orbital Ray has its effectiveness cut in half right now. That ult's too strong.
Yeah, and I think we've all played enough Overwatch 2 to know that a Mauga nerf wouldn't come with like an Orisa buff or something. Like there's always like a give and take. There's never a clean win. But let's hope that one of these teams will get their clean win and continue their journey in the bracket of the GM tier here. So it is, as I mentioned, EMC Helheim up against the God Stack. One of these teams will be going home today, but they will be going home 3rd place. So it's not all for nothing, but it is still for a place in the grand finals up against Special Forces. And you can see it's Helheim that was recently brought down by Special Forces. What's interesting to me, though, is the team that they had beat previously, Team EXE, it was a very close matchup, a 5-map series, and the Godstack, well, they made quick work of Team EXE, so at least on the paper of this, it's looking like the underdogs will be Helheim, and I think that's probably the idea that we're looking at here, especially when we've talked about how important Mauga is. I haven't seen too much of Helheim themselves, but they gotta know that they're going up against a team that knows the meta well. But hopefully we know the video game well, because our next segment, Ray, I will let you take away.
All righty. Hope you guys... I feel like Spectron might have an edge given how much he plays the game. We'll have to see, though. Because this week we have a returning game called Whose Voice Line Is It Anyway? So we are going to have voice lines, and no accents. They're not going to be played. I'm just going to say them. It would be too easy if you got to hear the voice. So let's see how well you think you know these heroes. There's no buzzer or anything like that. I'll just go down the line and ask you guys what you think it is. So we're going to start with the first one. The first one is, I think, pretty easy. We'll see. You seem familiar. Ain't I killed you before? We'll start with Joker since he seems pretty eager.
I think is it Cassidy?
Spectreon?
I was gonna say Tracer.
Geo?
I'm leaning Reaper.
It is Cassidy.
Oh, I love how you morphed into him.
It's like those AI videos of morphing the things that morph.
Good job, Joker. All right, number 2. I'll send you my consultation fee.
I know that one.
Start with Spectreon.
It's messy.
Geo?
Yeah, it's Dr. Anna Ziegler. It's Mercy.
Joker?
Mercy.
Good job. It is Mercy.
I was about to say something very rude to broadcast.
Takes me a second to change it. Okay.
That was hilarious.
All righty. Number 3, we have Let's Get Their Blood Pumping.
I guess.
We'll start with Gio on this one.
I want to say Lucio because pumping in music.
Okay, Joker.
I have no idea, man. Let's go Mauga.
All right,
This is
Spectreon.
Queen.
Ooh.
The answer, I just lost my OBS. There it is. It is. Good job, Joker. It's Mauga.
Ah, nice. I guess that does make sense when you think about it.
Yeah, 2 hearts and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Okay, what we got?
Joker killing it. Now we got number 4. This one's a little bit harder. I'm sort of making this up as I go.
Wait, that's the voice line?
Yep.
Oh, you're just telling us that you're making
Next? Sort of guess.
All right, Spectreon,
And that be a Junkrat voice line.
Joker,
I'll say Junkrat too.
Geo.
I'm trying to think of anyone else it could be, but it's such a Junkrat thing to say. So yeah, I'll go Junkrat.
It is Venture.
Straight up.
Oh.
I don't think I've heard of Venture voice line. Nobody plays
Yeah,
Venture, and I never play
nobody
Venture.
Nobody plays Venture because no Venture hasn't gotten a skin.
I
Yeah,
think
Yeah, that's why I
think
wanted to
they're
give
the-
Venture some love. Like, they got to get him on the game.
I feel like the skins come because nobody plays Venture, but it's the cart before the horse and like jazz.
Hot take, I actually like the skin that was leaked because it's got a little badger like weapon.
Alrighty. Next one.
I-
Idle hands are the devil's workshop.
Okay, I'll go.
Joker.
Torbjorn.
All right. Spectreon.
Yeah, I'm gonna copy him on that one. I think Torb.
Geo.
I'm gonna say Moira, actually.
That could be it.
Congratulations. It is Moira.
Yes. There we go. I'm catching up.
Yeah,
Good
that's
job,
the way I
Geo.
win this.
Good job.
I think I'm getting hurt by listening to like incredibly loud music at all times while I play. I don't have music on. As long as I can hear like all voice lines and like relevant sounds like a Genji deflect, I don't care.
All right. Next we have I have your present right here. Geo.
I'll say Junkrat.
Joker.
I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna guess with Geo, so I'll go with Junkrat, so I stay ahead of it.
I will also guess Junkrat. I think it's,
Are we being strategic? Okay.
we live and die by the same sword.
You guys were close, but it is Roadhog.
Oh, okay.
Oh, is it when he throws his pig pen?
Yes.
Damn, I haven't played Roadhog since he got pig pen because I think it's a stupid ability.
Got pig-penned.
But
No, wait, since he got the ability.
Roadhog was meta for like a week.
Yeah, but I didn't play him. I was playing whatever the DPS was, like Soldier, I think.
All right. Next we have you have made an error in judgment.
Aha, I know this one.
I think I know this one.
All right. We'll
I think
start
I
with
know this
Geo.
This sounds like a Hanzo line.
All right. Joker.
I thought it was Zen.
Spectreon.
It was Mercy.
Oh.
You made an error in judgment. Like that. Good.
I will tell you, one of you guys got it right.
Mm.
Oh wow.
Oh,
I should have just
okay.
doubled down on my logic of.
Good job,
But I was
Geo.
so right. I thought I was.
Victory's right around the corner. I can feel it for once.
Alrighty, here we go. This one is one of the event voice lines. Let the festivities begin.
Oh no. I know this, and I just can't.
Tell me it's Hamster, I believe you, man.
We'll start with Joker.
I know this, but I don't know who it. Like I've heard this before. I just don't know who said it.
I tried to give a hint with the way I said it.
you say it again?
No.
What?
It was the tempo in which I said it was trying to give a call to. 'Cause it sounds very similar to how they say a certain thing.
I have an idea.
I have
All right, what do you got, Gio?
oh, yeah.
I'm gonna keep. Eventually, it will be this character. I'm gonna say Junkrat.
All right, Joker,
I'm gonna say Mercy.
Spectreon.
Genji? I'm so lost here, I can't lie.
It was.
Oh,
I've never heard
She
this voice line in
says,
my
"Let the
life.
festivities begin," kind of like "Let the kitsune guide you."
I have literally never seen this before in my life.
okay.
I'm convinced you've made this up. Or people are playing a different video game to me. One of the others, definitely.
Two Tryhard Ray is gaslighting us.
Yeah,
I
that's
am
what it
not.
seems like. I would never lose a quiz otherwise.
He's gaslighting us. He's just.
Alrighty. Next one. Peace through superior firepower.
Gotta be Aura, right?
Yeah.
Is that your answer, Joker?
Yeah.
All right, Spectreon,
Yeah, I probably would agree. It's two in character.
Geo.
I want to say something different.
It's supposed to be different. Damn.
Yeah, I just want to be different. I guess Ramatra might say that. I'm not entirely confident, but I'll go for it.
Answer.
Oh, that also makes sense.
That makes sense. Yes. Okay.
This isn't working out for me, guys.
This game comes with a lot of aha moments.
Yeah, because like it could have been Farah, it could have been Zara.
This game is really not working out for me, guys.
All right. Next one. We got 3 left, and we have a tie between Joker and Geo right now. So we got
Right.
minds must change hearts, and hearts must change
All
minds.
right, that's gotta be Zenyatta. There's no
Is that
way-
your answer,
yeah,
Joker?
There's no way else it could not be Zenyatta.
All right, Spectreon.
Sure, why not? It sounds like almost meaningful, but has actually no meaning. It's circular for no reason. It's so
Geo?
writing.
God, the part of me that wants to say Ramatra so bad, but I'll say Zen because that must be a Zen line.
I'm just gonna tell you guys did not get that right.
Oh.
Oh.
Ah.
No
It
one
is
plays the
Lifeweaver.
hero! How are we
These-
supposed to know
these are
that?
imaginary characters. These are imaginary characters.
It's gaslighting us, bro!
Wait, hands up here. Who has Hours and Lifeweaver?
Hours? I might have
actually
an
don't.
hour or maybe
I have
2.
like 30 minutes, I think.
They're
max.
gaslighting us, Spec.
I don't know. Clearly, these people. I don't know.
There's
I don't
no...
know.
Lifeweaver's not a real character.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
All right,
He's
2
a
left.
Switch character to get people back to spawn.
All right, here we go. The galaxy will tremble before us.
Oh, that one's not bad. That one's,
Ramon.
All right, Spectreon.
That one's Space Prince Sigma.
All right, Geo.
I'll go for Sigma because it is Ramatra or Sigma because both of them got a skin. I'll say Sigma.
I'll
Okay,
do
Joker?
Ramatra. Wasn't there a Megatron skin?
Congratulations, it is Ramatra.
Oh no!
Yeah, because he was Megatron, right?
Yeah, I think I
Was that a Megatron line or was that not?
It
It's
just
Megatron.
sounded
No,
No, it
Megatron.
was just
Megatron.
it was just a regular voice line.
Oh, it was just a regular because it sounded
Yeah,
like a
I don't know. There's a lot of galaxy.
All right,
Yeah, he's not
Geo.
Space Admiral.
Not only do you have to get this next one, but you have to hope Joker gets the next one wrong.
Okay.
Final one. Anyone want some barbecue?
yeah, I do
Oh.
actually.
Yeah, I would love some barbecue.
Yeah. I'll go
We'll
for
start
that.
with Joker since
Dang it!
he's winning right now.
Anyone want some barbecue? Ash.
Spectreon.
Rats.
You said what?
Rats. Junkrat.
Oh, okay. Geo.
I mean, I'm gonna go for Soldier because he has the Grillmaster skin.
I'll tell you, one of you guys got it right. Congratulations, Spectreon. You got one.
Welcome back to the board.
It doesn't even look that bad, you know. I might be the worst, but like only by 1 point. So I'll take it. I'll take it.
Damn.
Congratulations, Joker. King of whose voice line is it? Anyway, would you like to say a few words?
I want to say that y'all lost to a person that hasn't played actively in 4 months get good.
1v1 me, bro. 1v1 me.
You lost to someone that doesn't
Listen,
actively
That's
play
gonna be
Overwatch.
Spectrion's answer to any game he loses on here
Actually,
about the
it
game.
actually
1v1 me,
is.
bro.
Guys, I think for the death segment for NA, we should just do a TXCXX tournament. Thoughts?
No.
No.
Because it's NA, yes, and I will be there. I'll be sleeping.
Yeah,
I'll be sleeping or playing Marvel Rivals or something. By the way, because we got so wrapped up in having fun, I forgot to tell you, this isn't the only thing on today. SNO EU will be kicking off this Saturday night, but there is more to come. Of course, we're back on track for the Godstack versus EMC Helheim, and they have the match of versus RRG JV at 8:30 Eastern as well. So if you're NA, you can get ready for that. If you're EU and have no sleep schedule like Spec, you can watch that one also. And to bring it back onto the Godstack versus EMC Helheim, let's have a look at who we have on their rosters. Now, we know the Godstack already from last week because they've got some stack players, one of them that won MVP. So it was Saikoka who won MVP. Widowblade, I believe in play, it was Tomakita, a very good Reaper player as well. It was very close between them for MVP. They've got a very strong DPS lineup. They've got Sky Commander and Ikaj and Octo as well. Ikaj was the tank last time on the Mauga and was running it quite well. This team really knows their Mauga principles. Beyond that, what else did you kind of see from this team that you really like, Spec?
I thought generally their DPS line was the most impressive thing for me. I thought Sakoka and Ton Makita were playing very effectively on the Echo Reaper. Speaking of, by the way, playing the Echo Reaper in of itself is a great standout for me. I think a lot of teams are trying to make it a bit easier on themselves by playing like Reaper Cass, Reaper Soj, Reaper Genji. Just play the guys. Just play the Echo. Actually, so good. The amount of value that you get from a hero is insane. Not only are you winning out pokes, not only are you very consistently coming into fights with health advantage on your tank, but to Duplicate is probably the third or second best ultimate in this composition behind Orbital Ray, arguably Cage, right? Your ability to duplicate either the Reaper and just obliterate the front line, or dupe the Mauga for an extended cardiac cycle. So you can go for your cardiac on your Mauga, cardiac on your duped Mauga, and then by the time that's over, then you're coming close to your second cardiac on your main Mauga. So there's a lot of value from that hero, and playing that in general is a huge standout to me.
Exactly, and one of the moments was Saikoka going to Juno on, it was Flashpoint. Said it was an accident, but worked it out and got the beam from it, from the copy, and won the fight nonetheless. Having a look at our next team, we've got EMC Helheim. Now, this team, when they last faced against the side of Godstack, it didn't quite go their way. It was a 3-1 victory for Godstack at the start of November, so just about a month ago, but perhaps they've learned from there. They've got the DPS lineup of Ellis, Fifi, Pinkar, Lazulai, Varied, and Player. This will be the team they'll be going up against the side of Godstack. Joker, what do you think Helheim needs to do here? They've just been knocked down to the loser bracket. They're up against a team that they know they've lost against before. What does Helheim need to do to turn it around?
Well, the good thing for Helheim is that Ekash is on support, not playing tank right now. So they need to be able to capitalize on this. They have the Godstack has a player without power at the moment. So you need to be able to capitalize while they are at a disadvantage, right? If they can't win these first couple of maps and then they get their support player in and they have their A lineup, it's all but over, right? So you need to capitalize early and you need to capitalize from the start.
Yeah, 100% I agree. It was a 3-1 last time. I believe it was Hanaoka that they had won against them. So there's definitely like the chance that they get an early map victory and kind of roll that momentum from there. But let's have a look at what we all actually think will happen in this series. Now, there's no more powerful force in the universe than that of randomness, and I always like to roll the dice to see what what the universe will think. And the dice have predicted it will be close, apparently, as a 3-2 victory for the God Stack. It looks like the universe seems to think that Helheim have the ability to take a couple maps. The dice were very correct last time, rolling 2 nat 20s for the God Stack. This time, they don't seem as sure for them. Ray, what are your actual real prediction instead of just rolling dice?
First, I do want to say, I do think, generally speaking, everything Spectron has said is absolutely correct. I think the Echo is the best route to go. But I have seen, casting Collegiate last night, Genji does have its place depending on certain situations and certain maps. Like New Junk City, for example, we saw a decent amount of Genji last night on a map like that for Flashpoint. But yeah, man, last night, man, my Moan and Tree going at it on the Echo was just absolutely insane. So very excited to see how this goes. For this matchup specifically, I have turned a new leaf as a predictor here. As Joker and Spectreon coined, the 3-1 is the coward's pick. I have decided to stop being cowardly, and I'm going full in 3-0 for the God Stack.
Nice. A strong statement made there.
Especially
considering, yeah. Joker, would you like to talk about your prediction?
Yeah, especially considering mine was a 3-1 for the God Stack here, and I would have loved to say it was because that I know that the side of the God Stack had a player out with power, but it was just because I said 3-1 and I wanted to be different from everyone else.
Well, so I had to be fair because every week I've been assimilating 3-1 is the coward's pick to Spectreon, even though you technically started that. But so I had to be fair that it's assimilated to both of you now.
I guess that's better than me just being erroneously blamed for something I never unleashed upon the world. But that's fair. Listen, I played at 3-0. It's 3-0. It's 3-0. I would be much more 3-0 if the God Stack actually had their full 5. But honestly, because it's a second tank player Brig, Brig in this comp basically plays like a tank anyway. Just use your rally as a brawl. As long as you understand brawl tempo, you'll be okay. I'm worried about their neutrals. I'm worried about their abilities to support their DPS on what off angles you may take. But I don't think Brig is that hard. Realistically, I think with a couple hours and understanding of the game in general, you can work out. So I'm going to stick by my pred. 3-0.
Nice. Confidence in the God Stack. It's a full desk sweep. And because Joker and Spec are our casters for today, there are no caster pred. So it's a full sweep for the God Stack here. Let's hope the desk are not horribly wrong. But these teams are facing for place in the grand finals, but also if they lose, they are out. The worst case scenario is third place in this bracket, but no one is fighting for the worst case scenario. They are trying to get to the grand finals, and that is what it's all about tonight. So, Joker, Spec, we'll let you two take it away from here, and let's see who will be entering the grand finals in the GMEU tier.
Yeah, all right, Spec. So, also I wanted to say, both of these two teams, right, played, what was it, Team EXE?
They played both the same teams.
Yeah, they both played Team EXE and Special Forces. It's a lot closer. Obviously, EMC Helheim gave up 2 maps to Team EXE, where the God Stack dropped none. But then when EMC Helheim played Special Forces, which the God Stack got 3-0'd by, they took 1 map off, so it is kind of close. If we're going by it like a simulation, right?
I think in terms of these results, I think the Team EXE one is a little bit more comparable, right? I mean, I think the one map difference between Special Forces, the God Stack and EMC Helheim, is a lot less consistent, repeatable. I feel like the 2 maps into EXE is going to matter a little bit more. I know it is kind of ooga booga brain to me, but you can steal 1 map, absolutely. Can you go to 5 just like bumbling your way through it? I don't think that's really the case, so I'm confident in my pred, but we'll have to wait and see.
Well, we saw people bump their way to a 5-map series last night, so
that was 10 players reaching some sort of like inverse nirvana, where the more they played, the less the game made sense to everybody else.
It was interesting.
Yeah.
What's also interesting, right, is our first map of the afternoon or evening for you EU fellows.
Evening.
We've got Antarctic Peninsula.
That we do. Like we said, normally one of the brawlier maps, of course. In this era of Overwatch where nobody has to press the H key unless you're playing Gibraltar, it doesn't matter much. We're going to play the Malga. Obviously, there's even less chances for your DPS to do anything creative, so it's going to be even more about your shot calling and your ability to find strong Malga slams here. Name of the game is going to be macro play. It's going to be finding these optimal cycles. It's going to be winning these pre-fight pokes, because in terms of your ability to get really creative, you can't do all that much. You know, a conversation I've been having quite a lot with teams is with the Malga, you can't really come up with gimmick strats. You can't come up with weird curveballs. You sit there and you play the comp real good. That being said, however, if you are a team, especially like EMC Helheim, and you have such a strong Mei player, such as Fifi, maybe you can come up with a different strat entirely, right? Come in with like a Rhine Mei, or a Queen, or something which isn't entirely hard meta, but still is pretty strong, to try and beat Godstack with a little bit of surprise, as well as, you know, your raw macro.
Yeah, we'll see here, right? As we're going to load in to Eco Point Antarctica. Well, it's not Eco Point Antarctica. That's a different map. This is Antarctic Peninsula. And we're loading into, I believe this is, what this
Sub-level.
is sub-levels, right? I confuse this in labs all the time.
Yeah, so the main difference here is going to be the Echo versus the Genji. Obviously, I spoke about how I thought this Echo is going to be more viable generally. If you're EMC Helheim, you want to go for the shortest pre-fight possible. This Genji is going to find more value than the Echo in broken down chaotic fights. What Spylo will call a chaos fight, right? So we need to watch Punker specifically rush towards these chaos fights. Otherwise, Lalazi is going to get poked out and have a pretty terrible time.
Wait a second. Ekash is the one that's playing Juno here.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see how that works for him, right? That's going to be a huge, that's the huge linchpin of this composition. Going to be able to follow them. Oh my goodness, Saikoka already finding Lazuli out of the fight here and now. That is just a huge boon. Now Saikoka can just go waning free in the sky. Penkari is going to take them out of the fight though. They get that pick, but there's still more to find if they want to take a hold of this. But it looks like, yeah, the Godstack are going to take first control here.
Yeah, that they will. Just obliterating the front line there. As we mentioned, the Echo's tank damage is just superior in these pre-fights, and Punker gets good work done, just not enough.
As they come in here, rotating in the slam out from Lazuli onto the front line, onto a couple, as they're going to be able to get the flop swept over. EMC Helheim now in the control of the point before it gets too out of control, and Pankari is going to find Tonika out of the fight. This should continue to go for EMC Helheim with the late stagger kills that they're looking to get, trying to get Sky Commander out, but still alive, and Pankari going to go down there. That's not what you wanted to see now. The picks are going to come back. The respawns are back from the Godstack, and they take down player as well. Now they're going to be able to go in, try to take back this point. The focusing beam not going to be able to get as much damage, but there it goes. Sky Commander takes him down. Point's going to flip back over to the Godstack.
Huge value there from Lazuli, getting this tank diff onto Sky Commanders to get that initial flip. But then they just feed. Panker overextends. I don't know if he actually had deflect or not, but either way, doesn't pop the ability and just goes down to a raw Malga on their own. Huge mechanical mistake here. Now we're coming into a 10 ultimate fight here.
Orbital Ray on the board. Cage fight coming in from Lazuli. The copy is there from Sokoka onto the Reaper. They are going to get taken out, and there's a pick. Octo is down. Dragon Blade in the back line too as well, but it's going to be Lazuli finding the picks for EMC Helheim on the point here as they're going to look for more. Another pick comes the way of the Mauga of EMC Helheim.
That got insanely chaotic, insanely fast, but at the end of the day, EMC Helheim just using that caged, it was a huge amount of value. You know, making sure to catch the Brigitte in it means she can't use that all-important shield bash with that stun, removes movement abilities entirely. Now they have to figure out how to find Fifi value with this Blossom into Blossom and the cage of Sky Commander, but EMC Helheim can win this fight.
Ooh, Slam coming in. Do they get do they get anyone in it? They do indeed. That Blossom came through from El Shifi, but it doesn't find anything. The rest of the team is gonna just go down because of that cage fight.
Yeah, Yeah, Fifi tried the Blossom. It's not a bad response, but unfortunately, all you're really hitting is the Brick Shield and the Malg. You're not going to get enough lifesteal off of that. You're not going to find an elimination. And so far, it's EMC Helheim still who are going to be on that back foot. You can see how much numbers these Malgas have been doing the entire time on that ticker on our right. And now EMC Helheim walking in. Oh, this is such a hard fight to play into.
Especially since Mikita has the option to use this Death Blossom early when they engage. And there it comes, Death Blossom coming through. Mikita pushing everyone back, but no one goes down quite just yet here. Still, the Hellfire shotguns do its work, and Psychoka with the sticky bombs take down Phoebe in the back line. Still, there is now a fight in the sky between the Echoes, but right now it's still a battle of attrition on the point, or to the side of the point, but the fight is going to have to move its way there because it's so close to the end. They come through. There's the cage fight in. Lazuli popping it. Rally coming in from both. Now with the orbital ray on Bind, they knew to get a touch. They do get there in the end. Lazuli is down though, and this might just be all but over here. The copy coming in onto the Reaper. Psychoka finding a 1 there with it, and the overtime bar is going to tick away. Round 1 goes to the God Stack.
Yeah, not a good cage there from Lazuli, unfortunately. I understand the reticence to give up high ground, but if you cage 3 people, including one with Rally, then all you're doing is make it so nobody can fight on the point. Nobody can secure a kill. So the rest of the team goes low ground and forces point for a bit, but they don't actually have kill pressure on anyone. Whereas Godstack and now have very much kill pressure on you. They're 3v1 inside the cage. Lazuli able to live for a second, but as soon as the cage goes down, the focus fire is then EMC Helheim. Great back and forth, but not able to draw first blood here. I think it's, again, worth mentioning the amount of value that we're seeing from the Echo of Psychoka. Punkair is swapping between multiple, so they've just swapped DPS characters in the end. Very curious to see why that is. I imagine maybe Fifi will be moving over to the Echo. Maybe it's a bit more comfortable for her. But we're going to have to wait and see as we clash again here on Icebreaker.
Yeah, we'll see here. It's like already up a little 11% on their ult percentage right now, though. But Octo is all alone, and players going to take them out. The trade is there. No Brig on the field for either of these two teams. As Punkar is going to look for some damage here. Mikita very low. If they could have landed those shots, they're out of the fight. But right now, the point is getting flipped and taken by EMC Helheim, but BB's down for the count. Mikita, no, the reload is going to save them for the moment, but Sky Commander falling down. Punkar looking for more. They are going to get taken down as well, though, and the fight might have flipped back into the favor of the God Stack, as they are going to flip back the point into their favor.
I feel like they're playing these fights at the wrong tempo, right? I mean, you look at the difference in ult charge between Psychoka and her opposite number of Fifi, and it shows exactly who's getting work done here. Of course, Mikita already with that Blossom is a huge tool that EMC Helheim will maybe not expect here. The tempo advantage of the God Stack, if they use it early, could be massive, could be a snowball to which who convert this map.
Yeah, you can't be expecting the Death Blossom already, right? And they're going to already go in. Oh, no, they're not going to use it quite just yet. They might use it on the point, but they might not need it as well. This player is down. The trades are there yet again for the Brigidas, but Varied now no longer in this fight. There's going to be the copy coming onto Psychoka. The Death Blossom come in from Honker, but that's only going to find Sky Commander, and the Orbital Ray going to help seal the deal for the fight for the God Stack.
That's not great ult economy there, though, for the God Stack, right? I mean, they use both the Ray and the Jupe and only trade it for the Blossom. EMC Helheim can just snowball now. They win the Ray fight for free, then they can go in for like a cage bait of the next fight.
They go in here. Mikita still has the option for this Death Blossom in the back. They might just be able to take down Vari, though. Punkar finding Psychoka is huge, though. Another pick comes through, and now they've got full control of this point, especially when they take down Octo, and they do. Sky Commander just buy out for some extra bit of percentage, but it's not going to be much. 75 up for the God Stack.
Yeah, gonna go for a cage blade here. Like I said, I think it's the best fight plan. Godstack will be able to go about blow for blow in terms of the check marks. The only difference, of course, being the Blossom versus the blade. But the important thing is the Blossom can be stunned. The blade, will stop it only for a second. So EMC Helheim should have ult advantage here. Going aggressive maybe isn't the fight plan.
Yeah, and they take down Octo already. Dragon Blade is there from Phoebe as well. They are going to be forcing the point, though. They have a opportunity to flip the point. Nope, not any longer, as, well, the rest of EMC Helheim are going to get back to the point to stop it.
Okay, so this next fight is going to be the tricky one, right? You only have the one ultimate. Painkiller can maybe play incredibly aggressive, try and charge up to a Blossom, but then you're still going to be behind in terms of the check marks. You really want to get a bash. A huge bash could turn it. If not, you probably just play for last fight.
Yeah, indeed. As now we're going to see how this goes for the God Stack. They're already pressuring out the point, and they might be able to get this before a touch. They are going to get there in the end, but BB is down. There's the, they're going to use this cage fight. They are going to get a couple people in there. The Death Blossom from Tomika is there. Going to take down Vari. Rally comes through as well. EMC Helheim does take advantage for a second, but not anymore.
It's such a great eco fight for EMC Helheim. They don't spend anything. They just swap off the Genji. The God Stack spends 3 ults into a fight where EMC Helheim, like I said, don't. So you're coming into this next fight, maybe not with ult advantage, right? But you can go blow for blow. Sokoka, the dupe has to be everything. I think you have to go for a Reaper dupe here. Just try and burn down the front line.
Don't care with the Death Blossom is available. Going to be using it early, but no one's going down. Ecash is so low, but they're going to be able to stay alive, get the orbital ray online, but they didn't need it because everyone else had died around them. As overtime is going to be procced, but the team kill comes through from the opposite side.
1 fight left to go. Nobody will have any ults. That's going to be painfully aware to both these two teams. So it comes down to whoever hits more shots, whoever plays that macro better. Maybe there's a chance for a dupe, for a cage to come online in the late fight. The God Stack are more incentivized to play with a fast fight. EMC Helheim, I'd probably just play to survive. Oh my lord.
Octo might have saved that. That's going to be a huge bit of frontline damage now gone from EMC Helheim. But Sky Commander needs to stay alive. No, they go down. Trade is there. Phoebe is gone, though. There's still a chance. There's always a chance for the God Stack to hold on to this with Tonmika finding that pick. Now goes player down for the count, and the point flips over. Overtime ticking away. Is there going to be even a chance for a touch? They do get there. Care over to the Tracer. They're going to be only able to stay on for so long because there's only so little. As there they go. The God Stack take map number 1.
The Reaper boop? I am gobsmacked by that. I mean, a total loss of motor function from Panka means that it's a 2-0. It really shouldn't be. There's every advantage in favor of EMC Helheim here. That's really unfortunate. That's absolutely nuts. That's absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Listen, and as well, we see when the members of EMC Helheim go down, Fifi and Lazuli, if memory serves, are both like 3% off their ultimates. The mind boggles.
Like I said, I mean, that might have just won it did in the end win them the map, but that was just a crazy play from Octo, who had been getting caught out a little bit on the Brigitte throughout the series. But when they needed them most, they showed up.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. So far, though, it does seem like a close match between these two teams. Back and forth, both teams winning fights, but maybe they're disadvantaged. Both teams are also more than happy to convert the standard ones. I think we could have a very, very strong series on our hands here, Joker. Of course. Equally, though, I think we definitely have also seen games where it starts strong in control, but outside of that map, it becomes a little bit more one-sided. So I think it's fair also not to count our chickens before they hatch. And come on, what is this?
It's just crazy, right? And like you said, this could completely change going into other map variations, right? Because
Sokoka 15 final blows, by the way.
That's crazy. Is that a?
It's not a dead left.
It's not it is really close because 8, 16, 18. So yeah, there were
3 kills the difference.
Yeah, 3 kills, 3 final bows off of getting a flooded deadlift there. So as well as Panker, 12 for them as well, which is a nice for them. Let's take a look though at the key difference here as look at that, 25 elims, 15 final blows, and 11.6k damage compared to Phoebe.
I feel like the important thing here is the damage, right?
Yeah.
Like, final blows will come when they come. It's whatever. They're a result of fight wins. But the cause of fight wins in a game mode like this is just dealing more damage. And this kind of like 4k damage gap for Fifi is unfortunately really, really quite hard to overcome. And considering how close this map gets, right? If Fifi just matches damage, not final blows, not death, literally just matches damage, then I think we are very much so looking at EMC Helheim, who are up 1-0. So unfortunately having a bit of a stinker here on that first game. Would love to see a lock in a little bit for these later maps.
Yeah, definitely. I think I agree with you there. Well, as we head into our next map, we are heading to the home of EU Spectrion. We are headed to King's Row.
I mean, it makes sense. If you want to play the Malga, if you want to play these ground tanks, if you're comfortable in your ability to win these ground tank trades, then King's Row is pretty fair for it, you know? The map does have some room for variation. If you want to go towards a Queen, that was going to work. If you want to play something like double flex on the backline, Juno Bap, right, that can help enable your front line a little bit more, considering you don't really need the Brigitte to help mark those flanks in much the same way, to enable your DPS on said flanks in much the same way. So there's some room for variation, but I think what this map pick signals to me from EMC Helheim is that they want to continue playing this brawl. They think they figured out what's gone wrong in the previous, and they're going to keep on trying here in the next.
Yeah, definitely. I think it really is on the back of punishing that support line, right? Ecash, not a support player. Octo has been caught out first a lot of the time for the God stack, right? So if EMC Helheim can continue to harass that backline and then not have healing for the rest of the team, right? You can sustain for a little bit because you have the cardiac overdrive and you have lifesteal from Tone Mikura, but in the end, that can only get you so much, right? And it looks like EMC Helheim are going to try to change things up here in this next map.
Yeah, have to wait and see what they can actually get going as we load in. Of course, in terms of the defensive composition, it's exactly the same. If I'm Sakoka and I've dropped, you know, the closest thing to a deadlift you can realistically do on Echo in a Malga comp, yeah, look me in, sign me up to continue doing that. EMC Helheim, I'm assuming it's going to be a Punker shot and then a swap, but Queen is not a bad look here, to be honest. I think it gives you some decent fight cons. I think it gives you, in my opinion, a better ult trade, actually. If you go ult for ult, if you structure it correctly, you're going to win things out. Just want to see Panker move over to Sojourn. I don't think is the best pick here, but I think it shall do.
I mean, it worked for, I feel like, was that not what Shock were running in the Junker Queen comp?
I don't think so. I think they played Echo.
Yeah, I don't remember, but what I do remember is, well, Psychoka already down, Punker already showing Spectrion why the Sojourn is a good pick for him here right now, as they're going to be able to force point, force objective, but they're going to go in now. The slam coming through, Punker stunned up. There's the cardiac overdrive, trying to stave off some the aggression, and Octo finding Phoebe out is going to be huge. Now you have the advantage. You can run back into this. You have Psychoka, who's swapped over to the Tracer to get back to the point quickly, and you can be able to start this hold, but you need to keep Sky Commander alive. The Lazuli finding that pick is huge, and now that's the go sign in response for EMC Helheim. You don't have that front line any longer, but people are very low, but Lazuli finding another pick might have sealed the deal on the point for EMC Helheim.
Yeah, I would imagine there's no recontest here. The stagger, yeah, onto Ton Makita will put the end of it. Let's see if they get this Tracer kill as well, because that will make this Arch hold so tricky, but it seems like they will see reason, will back off. Lazuli will be healed up, and so great start here for EMC Helheim. The issue is, normally in Queen Comp, you're looking to match your Queen ults with the opposing Ray. Because Lazuli's been playing so soft, because it's been Punker who's been finding all this value, then you're 40% of the way from your rush. Great kill as player.
Yeah, great pick coming in. Psychoka looking for Phoebe as well, just hunting them down, not able to get any value in that backline. The overclock coming in from Home Care, though. Can they find a pick with it? They just need one headshot. There's a pulse bomb out. Nocto is down. Now the Kitsune Rush coming in as well as the Orbital Ray. Both teams are trying to vie for position. They've lost Poncaire. They've lost, they might lose more though. It does EMC Helheim, but they're going to be able to stabilize for a moment.
Yeah, that they will, but coming up to the ults, the important one, at least for EMC Helheim, is here. Curious to see what the God Stack want to do about this. It's likely going to be a beat for the Cage of Sky Commander now.
There is the there's cage fight coming in. Varid is down. Soundbear a little too late to save their Kiriko. Stone Mika finding Lazuli out, and it's kind of just a waste of a sound barrier there for EMC Helheim.
Yeah, to me it looks like EMC Helheim are playing too much for the angles, too much for the DPS. I know that's partially what you want to do here, but guys, I think if you match the brawl a little bit harder, as long as you're harder to play to live during the cardiac cycle, then you're going to find more success. It's so often that Player and Fifi are going for some flank and then just getting shut down, and that team is losing this frontline trade because they're 4v3.
Yeah, we'll see now. I've got the cage fight, and that's going to set them up perfectly. 3 come down with it. Rally in response, though. Sky Commander is going to get caught out. Pulse Bomb comes through, but Psychoka is down. Player's the one to get the final blows. Octo is going to trade it back. They have a pick, but oh, wait, they find another one. Octo finds 2, and now Tonmikura can find Varied. This is going drastically from looking for a win for EMC Helheim to not that close, especially if the respawns come back from the God Stack, but losing Ekash there is going to seal the deal for EMC Helheim.
That should not have been that close, realistically. You hit like a 4-person anti, you take care of Sky Commander. But Lazuli, I guess, imagines they're invincible, right? Walking into the rally, into a room with 3 people, that's bold. That is certainly bold. So not working out in their favor. Again, it's one of these flanks we've been seeing from the Lucio Tracer, and again, so far it's smart.
Yeah, definitely is. Ekash almost up to the Orbital Ray to really set the this defense in the way, but losing Tone Mikata early on, and another pick. Psychoka is down. This is huge. There's no chance to use the Orbital Ray, and it's going to give EMC Helheim opportunity for point 3.
Huge value from the Sojourn, who's been probably the most consistent member of EMC Helheim so far. Now a very healthy time bank to cruise into the last area of the map. The issue is, though, what do you do about this specific fight, right? We've seen them have issues countering out the ults of the God Stack, instead waiting till their own are online and investing those. You know, trading fights back and forth isn't so bad if you're attacking, but if you want to win this series, you need to figure out counter plans.
As now we're going to go here. Let's see. I mean, see if this can continue for EMC Helheim. They're looking strong, but there comes the Orbital Ray early on, and the swap over to Diva for Sky Commander, starting off strong for the God Stack, right? They're going to be able to win that fight. Obviously, they used Orbital Ray, but it's a fight win nonetheless.
The Diva's going to be annoying here. The important thing for EMC Helheim is going to be, firstly, you play for your ults, right? You play for double support, ult rush. But outside of that, then you maybe just want to try and force backline, because the longer these fights are, the more annoying the Diva's going to be. If you can isolate Octo, though, that could be huge.
Death Blossom from Tone Mika to find player early on. 2, 3 go down. Consecutive shots from the Hellfire shotgun. And there's going to be the reset. The team kill comes through.
Yeah, indeed it does. Almost half the time back now, gone from 3:30 to 2.25 minutes, but that's the God Stack having spent most of their big tools in a long fight. Then a rally, a Bob could come clutch, but EMC Helheim are very much favored coming into this next engagement.
They are indeed. They have these double support ultimates, but it could all change as Poncaire taken down by Tone Mikata early on. Now they have the self-destruct available. Speed ring out and about, moving and grooving is the God Stack, but they've lost 2, and there they go. A nice engage coming in from the Kitsune Rush, from the Rampage, and they're going to just get the team kill that they were looking for here.
In my opinion, an overspend. I don't think the Kitsune actually finds any value there, right? Past, you know, allowing your Rampage to go slightly faster, right? Lazuli, purples 3-4 people. You're winning that fight basically no matter what, especially against a team with no cleanse. Now, for the brawl on the objective you're forced to play for, you've got a beat and very maybe a blade. You just have to back off with this ball.
The Bob coming in from Psychoka is there. Soundbear going to be invested. They're going to be able to take down the Bob early on. Not going to find any picks with it. Now Ponquer looking for shots with this Widowmaker swap here. They're going to get caught out. The dive coming in from the Godstack works out to perfection, and now they can deal with the remaining members of EMC Helheim, specifically Lazuli going down first, and now the rest of EMC Helheim has to retreat.
This Widowmaker has been unfortunately quite uninspiring from Ponquer so far, right? We've not really seen anything. Not the picks you'd really love to see, and not really even enough damage just to keep people marked. It's just been kind of being exploded. A vulnerability for EMC Helheim so far. You'll have DPS ults. The wall hack's not going to find a crazy amount. The blade, you can maybe kill a catch. I'd hard force background here if I was EMC Helheim.
Mikita in the wings, waiting for a Death Blossom coming in. They're already going to get forced away, forced out of position with their Orbital Ray coming through, and now they're going to go into the back line. Dragon Blade comes out, but the Death Blossom is there as well. Finds player, Phoebe's down as well, and that's going to be the round going the wayside. EMC Helheim stopped on point 3.
That they will. Not bad progress when all is said and done, but, you know, remembering that their time is heading into it. One is forced to imagine, in my opinion, that they could have gone further. They could have completed the map, and instead a stop, 60 meters through point C. I'm not sure you're in love with that, I'll put it that way. Unfortunately, I think some big slip-ups there made this comp maybe not work as effectively as maybe it could have. At the end of the day, they're winning the ultimate fights for the most part. Their rampages were converted on, and that is what's important when you're playing this queen more than anything else. So now, they've completed their attacking half. Defensively, though, only winning rampage fights is not going to cut the bacon, right? Defensively, you need that consistency. You need to be winning these neutral fights. You need to be winning, multiple different combinations, multiple different fight structures. And so far, we haven't seen that. So a lot of onus still on EMC Helheim to be the difference makers here. And again, of course, actually, this time it's a different split for the DPS line. Ton Nikita leading the way. This actually is a deadlift.
Yeah, it is a deadlift right now. We'll see if that can continue. But, I mean, again, just looking at, besides Ponquer, it is, it's pretty similar, right? A lot of things are going the same way, but that healing output that's coming in from the God Stack is so much more than whatever EMC Helheim has.
Indeed. So far, just Malga, fair enough. In fact, the full Malga mirror with the Ash Maeve and EMC Helheim have to play for an extended poke and then a really hard collapse on the walls. If you don't do that, you're going to have your day ruined.
Ponquer almost finds out Ekash early on, but they are going to get caught back. They're going to be pushed back here thanks to the Gatling guns of Sky Commander. They're still rotating in. There's the slam in from Lazuli, pushing them back, though. A lot of damage is coming out as Varied is so low. Going to get healed up, going to go down. Is Octo Psychoka quickly afterwards as well. So that's a fight win and a reset for EMC Helheim.
So, I guess the logic here is that once you knock everyone on their behinds, then Ponquer just has some easy shots to spam in. I don't mind it, but it feels so risky with Lazuli's engages. You have to make sure wherever you're hitting it is in full LOS of the Ashe, right? Otherwise, you can get nothing done. Obviously, the Widowmaker swap here is causing some issues, but the Protect the President strat allows them to rotate safe with Psychoka.
Yeah, but they're going to be all out of position now, but Sky Commander getting DMAC'd is not what you wanted to see. Honestly, I would have thought, as much as we were joking out Lifeweaver, a Lifeweaver to pull them back would have been huge.
It would have been, but when all said and done, now Time Bank is already somewhat depleting. Fifi's close to a Blizzard, which is going to be one of the bigger tools here, especially if you want to combine it with a Cage. That's going to be a free fight win. Great wall.
Great wall indeed, and now Sky Commander's all alone yet again. Gonna try to get out. They have taken that high ground away from them, but Psychoka is down. The slam coming out, and Tonmikata taken down. Ponquer still alive somehow at little 1 HP, and they are gonna have to, they are gonna stagger out Sky Commander a little bit.
They're playing for their Ashes baits almost here. Watch how hard the kind of 3 divers are inting towards this hit scan. So all EMC Helheim are doing are somewhat denying it and just crunching them wherever they ended up spotting them out. That was all kind of set up by the wall of Fifi right at the very, very beginning. Now also in line, they can just go for a cage fight.
Yeah, this is coming from bad to worse if they do not win this fight. And there they go. They find 2 picks. Punkera and Player are down, and finally they break through this. But the big thing is, I mean, you only invest Orbital Ray into that fight. You still have 4 more ultimates if you're EMC Helheim.
That is true, but that fight was winnable as well, right? If they go a little bit earlier there with a cage, if they catch the D.Va, then there's not enough kill pressure to realistically remove Punkera. But as that does come through, they'll be able to crack this point open. That being said, this same strat of just obliterate the Ashe is going to work a lot less on Street's face.
And then you're going to have to deal with the cage fight that's coming in early here from EMC Helheim. Lazuli finding Tone Mikita out, and there's the quick fight win, and you invest only 2 ultimates.
I'm not even sure you needed the rally realistically, but it gets the job done. The God Stack sent back to spawn. Archhold now firmly set up, and 3 minutes on their time bank. Little bit lesser than what EMC Helheim had in this same spot. Very curious to see how they scale this Blizzard. Actually, as long as it isn't eaten by Sky Commander, it should be another fight win. Very likely catapulted at the feet of Oxo.
As now we're gonna see as the opportunity to come into this. The Bob coming in from Punkera early on. Psychoka in the backline, having a pulse bomb. Don't blink, not gonna find the stick, but find some damage. There's the Blizzard coming out. Self-destruct comes through, and Punkera, Bob is taken down. Fifi is gonna get taken out with a nice pulsar torpedo from Ekash, and now EMC Helheim have to back up here.
Yeah, Fifi just stays in too long. I understand wanting to kill Ekaj there, stuck behind the telephone box, but her team's not really in. They're zoned out by that the self-destruct, sorry. And so they're going to give at least 1 corner here, probably 2, as they wait for their maid to come back in the fight, because there's no way they're brawling without her.
Is now they come through. Tone Mikita very close to a Death Blossom, which could be a difference maker if they can find some value with it. Obviously, that is for every ultimate in the game. But right now, Variety was focused out and taken down. And now they might just not even need an ultimate to win this dry fight, as they're going to clean house.
This is a really strange composition here. But the important thing is going to be that very likely it's going to be Sky Commander full DMing the Cardiac Cycle of Lazuli, while Tom Makita and Skoka just go to town on their face. Cass, so much better here than the Ashe. The sightlines suit it much, much more. Well, I say that due to Street's phase. Here inside the factory, I'm not even sure the same is true.
Yeah, no, the high ground, especially, it's so much more accessible via the Ashe with the coach gun. You're now going to have to play at a low ground and somewhat at a disadvantage that you had with the Ashe. You can spam those sight lines with the dynamite. We'll see if it matters, see if it works. But Ekash already finding Varid out of the fight is huge, and now going to be forcing out the ice block early on. Maywall comes through. There's the orbital ray, and BB is going to get taken out before they can really get back to their team. And now the Godstacker are about 1 fight away from winning this map. As they're going to come through, Lazuli is going to fall down. The rally armor was not there in time, and now the Godstacker on the cusp of taking a 2-0 series lead. Orbital ray as a last-ditch effort is there, but it's not going to matter. The Godstack take map number 2 and take a stranglehold on the series 2-0.
Bit of a gimmick play coming through there from EMC Helheim that unfortunately does not go in their favor. They go over to DPS that's a little bit more comfortable for them, right? This Ashe, but apropos of a couple fights there on first point, they don't really find the success they're looking for, right? They lose first point and essentially get snowballed throughout the rest of that map. They're going to be kicking themselves about some of those mistakes they made, because at one point I would say they're in a very good spot to mount a successful defense. All said and done, though, as you mentioned, they're down 2-0. They're going to have to reverse sweep if they want to stay alive here in this tournament, this lower bracket game. I mean, the stakes are turned up to 11 for EMC Helheim. The both are going to be only more than happy enough to play for closing this game out.
We're going to see here, right? We saw it last night, Spectron. We saw the reverse sweep come in. What does EMC Helheim have to do here?
I think that if they want to play this Mei style, then they need to make less mistakes, which I know very simple to say, but actually doing it is very, very different. And I think we have to see one of Funker and Fifi move over to Echo, and then just play a little bit more safe, right? You don't need to be going for funky flanks, sorry, on the Echo like Heesang often does. You just need to sit behind your tank, throw in the damage, and you'll have a much easier time in the Malg on Malg versus your opposition.
Fanky flunks is what you were gonna say. Yeah, no, I agree with you, right? The Echo is so good, and both moved away from it on this map. Obviously, they needed it because of Punkair on the long-range hit scan. But yeah, right now, it's really in the name of just getting value from the heroes that you're playing, and we're not fully seeing that from EMC Helheim every single fight.
Indeed. That was, I don't know, I think the gold stack just looks so good as well. That's the really scary thing. They're doing it on multiple compositions, but the really scary thing has to be that DPS line, right? Obviously, It's not a deadlift. Tom Makita goes a little bit quieter towards the second half of play, but absolutely the amount of value that we've been seeing from Tom Makita in the second, Sakoka in the first, they're just going above and beyond here to get themselves, to drag themselves to those grand finals.
And just look at the... I want to talk about the healing output difference. Look at the difference, right? Ekash, almost 5k more healing than Varid, and then Player, almost 6k, or no, 5k, less than Octo. You're just, when you're not having that, that amount of healing, that healing difference is going to be huge going forward, right? I mean, you have to be able to counter that out somehow, and they're just not being able to do that right now.
Yeah, I think, when a good moment happens, it's either Punkair or Lazuli who's making it happen. I think the other players are somewhat struggling. Fifi did look good on the Mei when she was on it, especially on that first point defense, but outside of that, like we've mentioned, maybe hasn't been having the most electric game possible. So I think a mentality shift perhaps from EMC Helheim might be strong. Already the map pick has come through on to the next, but I think to me it shows that they want to go back to the Malga. I'm not going to spoil it. We'll leave that surprise for when we're back, but I would imagine that we will be seeing the Malga mirror when we return.
Yeah, well, first, before we go to that little break, we're going to take a look at the side-by-side between Honmikita and Punkair. Punkair had the, I mean, obviously a little bit of damage in their favor, but not, it's probably in like the number of error, so it's not like it did too much more, especially since the eliminations and final blows from Ton Mikita blow them out of the water.
Yeah, I fully agree. Just, I think eliminations, though, it's a team stat. If you win more team fights, you're going to have more eliminations. It's as simple as that, and just shows that throughout King's Row, it was more team fights that were won out by the side of the God Stack, right? Mm-hmm. So, unfortunately, there is no easy diagnostic fix to win more, other than, win more. Way better. We'll have to wait and see exactly what EMC Helheim do. They'll have a couple minutes to relax, perhaps rearm, discuss, to see how they might improve. Because after this 5-minute break, they're going to have to play against elimination the entire time. So we're going to disappear for a little bit. Well, when we're back, EMC Helheim attempt the reverse sweep.
Welcome back, everyone. And again, I mean, huge shout out to XYBA, right? Getting their first production job as well, doing a community tournament for Face It Community League, or is it Face It Community Cup?
Community Cup, yep.
Yeah. So be sure to check that out. It'll be for the Iliad Esports Gauntlet of Gods. That's what the tournament is. So yeah, look for that. It's coming 12th through the 15th and the 4th through the 5th. But we're still in this this matchup, which the Godstack are in a prime position to take this series here and now, right? They've got a 2-0 lead. They still have to deal with EMC Helheim's map pick, though, for this next map here.
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned, it's very much a ground-based map. Suravasa, of course, it very much implies to me that they want to play at least something on the ground. I thought their queen looks pretty poor, to be honest. I would very much not like to see them continue forward on that. I think their best chance of winning this game out is going to be looking into this Malga, because, you know, casting your mind all the way back to Antarctic Peninsula, right? That went 99.99 on both these points, just unfortunately not in favor of EMC Helheim. So I think if they do want to draw blood, they've got to play towards that which they look closest on, and for lack of a better phrase, winning it this time. I imagine that's what they would try to do.
Yeah.
It does open them up to getting absolutely cooked again by Sakoka on that Echo, who's, you know, so far has played a fantastic series. Ton Makita, though, on the Reaper Tracer occasional hit scan, though, was a lot more scary once we were actually on King's Road. No opportunity for that here, one would very much imagine, because it's just so, I mean, front to back.
Yeah, we're probably going to be seeing what we saw on Antarctic Peninsula, right? Like you said. It is so much, and that's just makes sense, right? Hitscan doesn't really have a place on Suravasa, and interestingly enough, we're having a swap come in for EMC Helheim. We'll get that sorted quickly on the roster scene for the game lobby, but then we'll show you here. Yeah, they're trying everything that they can to make something, to make a change, try to change the tempo of this.
Yeah, we'll see how it's going to go once we actually head into the action, but I do think that there aren't a crazy amount of gimmick plays you can kind of go towards on Suravasa. It's a very standard map. It is, quote-unquote, the Malga map. Queen works, but I think we didn't see EMC Helheim find enough success in it for me to really be in love with the idea. It's a very, very passive from the tank, and speaking of the tank, of course, a substitute of Aristophanes coming in, who does prefer to play that Junker Queen, maybe means that they have a better idea on how to execute on that. So we'll see if that is going to be the difference maker or not. But all we really can do is wait until the game gets going.
There it is. The Gator. Is it just frozen?
Me in the morning.
Me
I'm
after
also
a
green,
long
as you
day.
can tell.
Yeah, that's you live in Glasgow, you become green. That's just
Yeah,
that makes sense. There's the pigeons.
Geo uses a color filter to look normal.
Yeah, of course. But there's the pigeons as well. Big up the pigeons. Yeah, but EMC Helheim not going with the Malga. They brought in Aristophanes to play, try to change it up and try a different look with the Junker Queen.
See what's going to happen as we play a style I'm more engaged with a little bit. The Tracer for Fifi is curious. I kind of would have preferred an Echo or a Reaper, but they can get this job done. As long as Pankage, oh, it's such an overextension.
Huge pick from Sakoka, like you said, overextending was Punker, and that really puts him at a disadvantage. You can't really push into this because you don't have that flanker. Now, they're going to try to, right? They don't really want to give, oh, they're just going to give the point for free until they wait for Punker to come back from spawn. They are back now, so this is an opportunity to go in which they are going to try to do it, but Aristophanes is so low. Punker as well, very low at the moment, but still no picks come through, and player is down for the count, and Ton Mikira is going to find 3 for the Godstack.
Indeed, they will. Great work, and already that's 2 fights out the way, right? They're getting really quite close to this. Juke Sakoka leading the lobby in terms of that ult charger, 80%. They'll probably have that, especially if they play aggro in this first fight. I mean, it is harder to farm ult into the Queen, for example, than the Malga, but so far, EMC Helheim kind of failing at the first step of playing into a Malga comp, which is to live that initial cycle.
Yeah, as now they lock into this here. Mikita already finding damage. Sky Commander, though, is going to be the one to find the first pick. Player is down. There goes Varid quickly afterwards, and it's going to be a replica of that first, or well, the second fight, right? Maybe not with Punkair finding 2, but that's all they're going to find, and well, that's all they're going to find in this first point.
Yeah, I think this is fundamentally not how Queen comps are supposed to be played. This is how EMC Helheim like to play Queen generally, but into Malga, the comp totally changes, right? You need to be playing for early poke, you need to be playing to bait cooldowns, to bait and engage, and then punish, right? Great kill from Oxo, the punish that we're looking for, but is that it?
As now the picks come through, and that's what desperately EMC Helheim desperately needed. A long-range kill into Ekash as well is going to help them get the first point, even though it still hasn't unlocked.
Yeah, they'll get it in the end, though. EMC Helheim getting very lucky to find 2 DPS picks. Goldstack have no chance of recontesting. Ult fight is going to very much favor the Goldstack, who are significantly ahead in the ults that matter, namely that Rampage and that Beat. If they charge them in time, maybe there's a chance, but it looks like the Rift Brains is just going to get obliterated.
Ooh, everything coming online for both of these two teams here. Now the Orbital Ray, maybe a little late, because they definitely didn't need that after all the picks came through. Team kill is there, and the Godstack are back in control of a point.
That was like 16 consecutive shots just to confirm EMC Helheim were extra dead. You did not need 4 ults in that fight. They'd won it off of the cage already, if you ask me. But hey, it's at least confirms the fight. Only a Blossom heading into the Rampage and the Beat. Punkair moving over to the Sojourn is not a bad adaptation here. You just hit 5 people with the purple.
Yeah, there's the Rampage. It's going to connect to 3, but Sakoka is going to take down player who had their sound mirror available. Sky Commander's very low, though. Can they stay alive? Are they going to get the picks that they need? And they do in the end. Aristophanes is going to take them out. Now Ekash, the last person on the point, and they're going to take it down as well, with Mikita coming back, taken down there, and the point flips over.
Perfect from EMC Helheim there, just doing exactly what they need to, and no more to close things out. The Godstack going to have their point percentage eclipsed in a little bit, but EMC Helheim trying to beat engage in.
They are going to engage, and then they also invest the Pulse Bomb. Is Octo very low there, going to get healing up in the moment. Death Blossom available from Mikita. They could just use it here as an engage tool, and it looks like they're going to do it. A nice slam coming in, locking down Aristophanes, but they're taking down a rail shot, taking down Mikita. Now with the overclock coming through as well. Punkair can change this fight drastically if they find a pick, and they do. Saikoka goes down. Tide Commander there as well. Punkair saves the day for EMC Helheim, as they're going to be able to take round number 2.
Yeah, huge work there from the Sojourn. Without that, they don't win that fight. The beat engage was pretty poorly executed, unfortunately. When you're beat engaging into a Malga, you need to make sure there's no cardiac. Oh, wait, I'll hold that thought while they take this mid-rotate fight. Okay, they're going to stop for a second. So you need to make sure there's no cardiac, and you need to make sure someone's down HP and you're properly scaled. They had none of those things, so they just went in, did 50 damage and died, basically.
And Saikoka is down. Ekash now as well. Kitsune Rush, all that there is going to be needed for EMC Helheim to get control of their 3rd flashpoint.
Indeed, but they're able to win it using just the Kitsune Rush. Great work there. The Godstack not going to care that much, right? They're coming up to their own ult cycles now. Remember, spending all 4 in that same fight means those same 4 come right back around. The important thing for the Godstack is, again, going to be not overspending and maybe not getting picked as well, because there are a couple ways for EMC Helheim to make this fight awkward.
Well, there's a cage fight coming in from the Godstack early on, getting a lot of people in it as well. All 3 of them are now down. This is a nice, really strong engage for the Godstack to take back the point.
I'd be curious about why player didn't invest that sound barrier there. It seemed like it could have been the perfect time to keep everybody alive. The chance of Ajaxing looked relatively low, but not going to matter too much in the end. We're just going to have a much heavier ult fight here. The important thing for EMC Helheim is going to be watching this rally, because a rampage cancelled, sorry, would be absolutely brutal for EMC Helheim to try and stomach.
Yeah, it's now Tracer dupe coming in from Psychoka. An interesting one to dupe indeed. Now the Sound Barrier coming in. They are going to use Orbital Ray. Aristophanes popping the... No, they do. They get stunned out of it. And now they are going to be able to stay alive. Now Psychoka is now overclock coming in from Honkier. They find Octo down, but Tonmikita finding Aristophanes is huge, right? That's a lot of damage, a lot of utility now gone for EMC Helheim. Can they stave off it? No, Vari taking down Tonmikita. They had the Death Blossom available. Now Sky Commander going to fall down as well. And the point is going to flip back to EMC Helheim.
Okay, so my mistake, not a full cancel from Aristophanes, hits the purple onto 3 or 4, but gets bashed out to completing the animation. It does mean that Aristophanes goes down, but equally, the purple was enough to clean up most of the God stack, and they're able to hold on for a while. Our EMC Helheim got to back up their Sojourn significantly here, though. A Kitsune fight they can take just outside the point. That deep, though, they'll struggle. Huge duel to win there.
That's huge pick from Phoebe, right? I can just kind of... It might just set themselves up to win this next flashpoint here and set themselves up onto map point. Pulse Bomb Stick coming in. Phoebe takes down Octo. Death Blossom there is from Tonmikita. They find a lot of damage. The follow-up could be there. And there's going to be the cage fight.
Cage?
Not going to find anyone with it, but... And they don't touch the point because of it.
You'll take that if you're EMC Helheim. You spend a Pulse Bomb, you get a cage, a swap onto the Ash, and the Flashpoint. That's a gift wrap. I run out of words. Words fail me, in fact. EMC Helheim now, looking to the future. Likely going to Kitsune across the point. Maybe not actually with Fifi dead. Their chance of finding a trade is very low.
Yeah, we're going to see here. So they're going to wait it out for the moment. Still looks like the Godstack are in a good position at the moment. They're going to be waiting out for EMC Helheim to make their move, but the Godstack are going to take control early.
Indeed, they will. So the fight plan from EMC Helheim likely the same. It is a bit of a passive Kitsune, but it's going to get the job done. Just forcing the space, allowing the flip.
Yeah, Psychoka has the opportunity to use his Pulse Bomb, though. They're going to stick it on to the Junker Queen. Channing Shout going to really negate the damage, though. As they come through, Sky Commander looking for a pick, looking for something. Almost found Varied out. They were able to get away. Overclock coming in here. Ekaz trying to stay alive, but they're not going to be able to find Sky Commander to keep them up and healthy now. Honkier finding more and more value with that overclock as they're able to keep things going their way.
Honkier makes me want to play Sojourn again, just finding huge value on the hit scan hero. Very consistently being one of the big difference makers for EMC Helheim here. They're set up defensively, they've got Rampage in this fight. They should really wait for the orbital raid to come through, but they just want to go early.
Yeah, Rampage coming in, and they're going to be able to take some damage. Tonmikita goes down. Aristophanes is going to get caught out, though. This is not what you wanted to see, as now Sky Commander can make some space and look for some picks. They do lose Octo, but now they're running for the hills, and now Psychoka and Sky Commander are on the advantage. They've got the damage in spades, and they're going to be able to take those two down. The respawns are coming back, though. Sky Commander is going to go down. Ponkier finds that pick, but Psychoka still alive. Finding pick after pick for this Godstack roster. The Pulse Bomb Stick comes through. The Orbital Ray, and the damage comes through. The point flips back over to the Godstack.
Huge work there, and the early engage of Aristophanes I think really came to bite them in the behind, right? If they invested heavily, maybe used the beat on top of the Rampage, then they would have been able to at least safely clean up that fight, but instead we're at 99. They aren't so bad in terms of the check marks, but in terms of retaking into a cage and a rally, it's never where you really want to be, right?
Yeah, you definitely don't want to be here right now. The Pulse Bomb comes out, though, and they're going to get stunned out of it. The Ajax comes in. A huge stun comes in from Sky Commander, and is going to seal the deal on this point for the Godstack.
EMC Helheim could have closed things out here. Instead, they invested heavily in a fight they had no business even being in. And we go here to a 5th flashpoint. We're going to have it all end on Palace. Remember, EMC Helheim fighting against elimination, fighting to stay in the tournament here. So, 2-3 months of play all boils down to this. Godstack starting out with a bob. An overclock of Punker has been what EMC Helheim have called to in times of trouble. It's going to need to go absolutely ballistic here.
And we've seen that before. Punker has been able to put this team on their back. Can they do it yet again? The overclock has been popped, but they haven't found a pick quite just yet. But there it goes. Octo and Tone Mika are now down. This is a perfect chance yet again for EMC Helheim to stake their claim. They've got the chance. They've got the control. Psychoka is going to find player out, though. They still have an opportunity. Ekash is still alive on the point, but not any longer. Another nice shot comes in from Punker, but they're letting Psychoka do so much work. They are going to get the point of into their favor. The respawns are coming back. They still have a chance, but Psychoka, okay, finally goes down, but the respawns are back for the Godstack, and Psychoka saves the day yet again for the Godstack.
And the reason why EMC Helheim couldn't clean that fight up in time is because Fifi blinked off the map.
Ooh.
It's a huge mistake there from EMC Helheim, right? I mean, if they get the cap here, they can get up to, 30-40% before there's a refight. The Ray of Ekaj isn't such a threat over the horizon. At least Aristophanes very likely will be able to mirror that out. But Punkhead, again, the main bright light of EMC Helheim.
Yeah, we'll see here as Psychoka looking for some damage. Rotation does come in from EMC Helheim. Takes that high ground away. Psychoka looking for the duel with Fifi at the moment, but nothing doing quite just yet. Commanding Shout is out. Aristophanes very close to a rampage here. Can they take them out before they get up to it, though? And it looks like they are. Sky Commander takes them down. A huge play. This could be the beginning of the end. Punkera, though, yet again finding picks, but Sky Commander is there for up for the job. They've got more and more, and this is all but over with Psychoka finding 2 picks, and there it goes. The 3 points have been won, and so have the 3 maps. The Godstack live to fight another day and go to the grand finals.
That they do comes maybe closer than it should have on that final map, but realistically, maybe it's just my bias is showing, but I felt that EMC Helheim probably should have won that map, right? Feels like a couple really huge mistakes from them came to kind of gift wrap that map over to their opposition. A couple fights where maybe they engaged way too early, even, Fifi blinking off the map, as I mentioned in the past. That would have made, in my opinion, us have to go to a map call. That would have forced us to keep on playing, but as it stands, that will not happen. It's going to be 3-0 from the Godstack, who've just been on a tear since they were knocked down into the lower bracket.
And I think I'm looking at, seeing it on stream again. That Ajax from a player on that 4th point really kind of just swung the momentum fully into the favor of the Godstack and allowed just Psychoka to hit another level in this series for them. I mean, wow, what so many hero plays from them on this map to and I think, like you said, without Psychoka on this map, I think we're looking at map number 4 right now.
Yeah, I fully agree. In fact, I think we're seeing how much work Psychoka's getting done here. I would love to see what the statistics are, because, again, just had another blinder of a map. Some of these clutches on the Tracer were absolutely nuts, right? I think it's a stick here as well. 2 more kills. Yeah, I mean, just kills everything. Just kills everybody. Oh, Ajax. Yeah. I think this is one of those maps, one of those series that you lie awake at night thinking about, right? I mean, that is just a huge amount of value. 18 final blows. The only person higher was Punker, who's desperately trying just a deadlift, but unfortunately, well, firstly, that is an actual deadlift. No, it's not, but it's very close again.
It's close by 3, I think.
Yeah.
No, it's close by. Yeah, it's close by 4. Wow. Yeah, Punker just tried to strap their entire team on their back. Look at that. I mean, we can take a look at the numbers here, even though I don't think those are quite right, because I mean, I guess eliminations per 10 is what we're measuring on our stats page. But I mean, look at the damage output from Punker, right? That was just that's insane that they couldn't come out with a win.
Yeah, I mean, Panka did the absolute best, right? I think Sokoka's gonna have higher eliminations. As I mentioned previously, eliminations comes from fight wins. Sokoka's team was winning more. But in terms of value, they both do an absolutely blow for blow. You know, Sokoka maybe needing some less resources to do it. Panka, though, some of those overclocks were like dastardly. I've seen so many mechanically crazy hit scan players just give up on Social entirely because, you know, the overclock right now, you're doing 100 damage on the body shot. It just feels kind of bad, you know, compared to what it has been in the past. Evidently, though, able to do the absolute best is Panka, an absolute heartbreaking match to lose. And we get to speak to some of the winners, though. We get to speak to one of the God Stack in just a little bit to find out exactly what that match was like from their perspective. So we're going to go to a short break, and when we're back, an interview with one of our now grand finalists.
All right, everyone, we're back here. We've got Octo in the booth with us here after a huge win. First of all, congratulations on that victory and booking your ticket to Grand Finals.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here.
All right, I want to talk about your DPS line first, because my goodness, they put on a performance today. What's it like to have Tone Mikita and Saikoka on this roster that can either one of them at any time just pop off and win a team fight?
So it's actually really chill because I like to int a lot. Well, not on purpose, but my gameplay is not as clean as it's supposed to be. So just having these two amazing players to fall back onto when actually things don't go as great in a team fight is amazing. Also, Saikoka is very smart about the game, so he will just calm a lot and speak a lot about the game as it's going on, which is really also really chill, because then I don't have to do as much. It's just good having good players on my team. That's all I can say.
I think for my first question for you, I want to ask about the opponents, right? Because especially on that last map, the enemy Sojin was putting on an absolute lights up performance. In the end, leading the lobby in terms of value. So, what would you say to them after they've just lost this game?
They tried hard. I think it was the last map out of all of them was the closest, I think, and we felt the pressure of this enemy team the most on this. So I think in this combat, this meta, anyone could have won. I think probably, but today we were just better. I don't know.
Fair enough. And then, for my second question, obviously, King's Row, it started out with the Malga, I think, for you guys. But as I remember, you ended up swapping over to the Diva, among other heroes. Can you talk me through the rationale behind that? Whose call was that? Is that something you do on all the time? Or is it just a one-time thing?
So, I don't know how we would do it otherwise, but Sky Commander is actually our substitute tank on this team. And he's really good at Diva as well, fortunately. So we just sat there and we thought, okay, they're on the high ground. What do we do now? And we said, okay, you can go Diva, you can try it. Maybe it works. But probably on any other day, we may have gone Diva, but today it just all slotted together well for the Diva pick to work.
All right, I want to put your sights forward to the grand finals, right? You have a rematch against Special Forces, who 3-0'd you in the first round. Going into this, what do you think you need to do specifically? Or, well, not without giving too much away, but what do you guys need to do to make this competitive and win this series?
We need our full lineup ready on the day. Two of our players today were not ready. In the past, on the past matches, our players were also not ready on the day as well. So I think that would increase our chances of winning drastically. And I think we'll just have to see on that specific day what we do, what we adjust. I think that's also very important, being open-minded to adjusting your strategies on that day. So yeah, that's what I think we need to do.
Well, that's going to be it for us. Octo, thank you for doing the interview. You can go celebrate with the rest of your team, and looking forward to your grand finals matchup coming up in the next week here.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for the interview. Also, something else.
Yeah,
okay.
So I forgot to let you give your shout-outs. And don't want to give that away from you.
Oh, my shout-out is for MCG, our main support player, for not having Wi-Fi today, so I could play. And also for Sky Commander for having an amazing tank performance, even though he also was probably not ready earlier in the day to play. All
right. Have a good rest of your night, and go celebrate with your team while you still can.
Thank you very much. Goodbye.
All right, Spec. I mean, hey, I'm really excited for this this rematch between the Godstack and Special Forces coming in. If those DPS line plays like they did today, I think it's going to be a really close series.
Oh, no, I fully agree. They've had an absolutely lights-out series. I think everybody is going to agree on that. And if you're watching this, Special Forces, then I'm not going to say you're worried, but you've got to give your opponent absolutely some respect. So I think it's going to be a great grand final. Looking forward to getting to watch and/or cast it when it finally loops around.
Yeah, definitely. Now we can probably send it back to the desk, where we'll still be there, but send it back to the other two that aren't here right now, and we'll bring them back right now.
Yeah, desk members.
Hello, desk members.
Hello.
Hello.
Great match, a good showing. Godstack continuing to live up to their name. I mean, when you put your name down as the Godstack, you got to live up to it, and so far they have been. And just as we're wrapping up there, I started to look into history. I got curious. The last time Godstack and Special Forces met, the Godstack won 3-1. So they might be on track to make the whole loser bracket run and win the grand finals. This team's amazing together. And we saw a whole lot of like different styles, especially on King's Row, where things got a little bit strange. I don't know how much I loved what I was seeing, but it did eventually work for the God Stack. What do you think did work in the favor of the God Stack with their kind of, it was Diva, Tracer, Reaper, Juno Brig stack on King's Row spec?
They were playing into an Ashe. They're playing into an Ashe. You're
Very
playing into an
simple.
Ashe on sec on Streets phase. She can't find any comfortable sight lines, so you can just like run over the front line. If she stands close enough to be in the fight, then she's close enough to have her day ruined. So it's either the Ashe has a day ruined, or she doesn't sit in the fight, and the Malga has a day ruined. So it's kind of more what you're playing against that makes that comp work, rather than what you're playing for.
Yeah, I know, and so these players were on absolute prime time as well. We were watching it, and Ray, me and you were just marveling at that Servasa hold, where like Psychoka didn't take the point, but they did absolute miracle work, and it allowed them to take it eventually.
Yeah, it was Psychoka was absolutely playing out of their mind, and we're even watching King's Row, and I'm just literally like, I was kind of muted, because I take some phone calls and stuff while watching, and then like I literally unmute myself, and I'm like, Gio, did they just pull out Diva and win on this map against a Malga? I know it wasn't the traditional Malga, but still, like, I'm just like, this is blowing my mind right now. Yeah, that's where I'm at right now. And I will say, me and Spectrion, baby, we were the rightest of the right. You guys were still right, but we were righter.
Hey, I mean,
That is true.
like I said, if Psychoka wasn't in this match, we're seeing a 3-1. Because they were definitely losing Saravasa without the actual absolute hero plays on Saravasa. Because, I mean, we mentioned it, right? Punker was just on another level for EMC Helheim, but the rest of the team just wasn't up to the task.
I think.
You say if Psychoka's not on the team, that's like saying if the Incredible Hulk isn't on the Avengers, New
Well,
York
it's like
probably
saying
doesn't
that
get saved.
Proper isn't on Falcons or something. Like.
okay, guys, it's worth mentioning that if I'm Punker and I have 20 final blows to 10 deaths, a 2 KD in Overwatch, and I lose that map, then my crash out would be generational.
Oh, I could even imagine if I was on a team with Spectrion and he did that well and we lose. Like, he would just like immediately like leave the chat and just not talk to me for a week or something. Like,
That's the best case scenario, I think. In that.
Spec's going LFT
That's LFT 5 minutes after the game was over.
Yeah.
I can't lie.
I mean, talking about crash out, I think if I was the Lucio getting my ult stunned out by a Mauga, oh, that was rough to watch because they opened with the beat and then it got cancelled out, and that was like their main thing along with Kitsune Rush, and then they just lost it because they were 2 up at that point as well, I believe. So they could have won the fight. I think that was like almost a map winning stun onto the sound barrier.
No, I 100% agree with you there. That's what I said in the time it happened, right? You lost all the momentum that you had, and then Psychoka just went Super Saiyan, right? After that, and you just couldn't kill them, and they were killing your entire enemy, your entire team, right? Without that, I think we're looking at again at least a 4-map series.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And to dive a bit deeper, Akash proving themselves to be a pretty good flexible player, held their own on Juno, and I think we were kind of like assuming that they would be playing the Brig, the main support style, but actually went towards the Juno. And I think at the start you said, "Oh, this is going to be a bigger test for Akash," and it was, but like they really held their own.
Oh yeah.
I think it's maybe worth mentioning that in this comp, when you play specifically Juno Brig, the lines between main support and flex support are somewhat blurred. I would argue that it ends up playing, in practice, much closer to double main support in terms of what roles these supports are actually doing.
Yeah, I definitely agree, especially with like where they're positioning, and it's not easy to kill backline, and that's sort of the point of the backline as well. Watching that one, you kind of felt like there was maybe there was maybe some cooking getting done. King's Row opens with 5 minutes at a time by going to Streets phase. They've rolled out with the Junker Queen, and it sort of felt like Helheim had gotten something rolling there. But I think Godstack kind of proved that they're not just good at like the meta, they're good at adapting and playing on the fly as well. And we were kind of talking about that, Ray, that flexibility is going to be really important, especially if this grand finals comes after the next patch. Is that something you think is going to really help them there in the grand finals?
I think it definitely will. And then, the format that we're in where it's pick map type and map after first map, like if, you're not feeling super comfortable in certain situations, like, okay, let's say, Hazard comes out, or not, I mean, Hazard comes out, but the new meta comes up, and it's like pretty heavily dive, or maybe it's still a brawl, but maybe we're in a Orisa brawl or something, but you feel way more comfortable taking them on in dive. I mean, just start bringing them to Watchpoint Gibraltar, start bringing them to Numbani. Is like, you have that ability to, because you're flexible in many different situations, you can, the map picks become that much more stronger, where it's like, we can play whatever. Maybe you aren't as strong at so many different compositions that we are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll see that when the meta shifts. Well, let's be honest, we are hoping the meta shifts. And looking to Helheim a bit, yes, they didn't win out today, but it does mean that they are third place. They were a team that was always kind of like middle of the line in this tier, but they were able to secure themselves third place. And a lot of it's outstanding players as well. I'd like to see the team continue, to see more of them and to see more of the players, especially when you're like racking up 20 final blows. It is a quite like incredible stat lineup. What do you think that the team could do if they're to stick together and play next season? What does this team need to change in order to start getting the wins, do you think, Joker?
I think empowering Punkair more. I mean, right? They just kind of... Yeah. And maybe a Sojourn meta wouldn't be too bad for him as well. What I want to say is, I mean, if you're looking for a DPS player, and if you don't have one, Punkair, I mean, is someone you definitely might want to pick up for your OWCS play-ins that are the open qualifiers that are coming up next month.
I want to also say that, as with many teams who are losing right now, next time they play, they should simply not roll into Amalgam meta. It's literally as simple as that. You either can play Malga or you can't, and a lot of people can't, unfortunately. I mean, you look at what EMC Helheim like to play historically. While Prof Catboy moves along a lot of things, Fifi is very much a Mei, not one trick perhaps, but she loves to play it, right? You try and play it here, it doesn't really work out. So, if we're in a different patch, a slightly more open patch, where we get to see EMC Helheim, play their own game, play their own strats that might not be fully meta, right? But they're around it, then I think we're in a much better place. I think they can make a deeper run.
So let's just pray to the Blizzard gods that we get a Malga and a Juno nerf.
If we don't get a Malga and a Juno nerf, then I'm hopping on a flight.
Yeah, we're going to Marvel Rivals.
I didn't say that.
Yes,
Petron's like, whoa, let's not go crazy.
Yes, thankfully we do have another option now. I think that's the first time that an LFT has been done for a player on the desk. So, but you are right, Joker, with the Faceit League now having like relegation and promotion in next OWCS year. Like, players in his GM and open tier, they're going to have the ability to be on teams where, like, we might even see next year, like, the first true, like, wildcard team appear. Like, suddenly, some out of Faceit breaks into OWCS, gets into the top 8. That's the sort of thing that I'm excited for next year, and these are the kind of level of players that we're looking at to be able to make the difference. But someone individually made a lot of difference in this matchup, and that is our MVP choice of course, Psychoka, who is now a back-to-back MVP from last week's SNO, and I think he absolutely ran the house here, and you're definitely a big fan from the very start.
Yeah, I was arguing with the rest of the desk in the chat that MVP should be Psychoka after like map 1. I would have got to get that out there. Other people didn't see the vision. I was there from day 1. I was right. Firstly, that's the important thing. But no, in all seriousness, there was a huge amount of value on every FDPS pick, right? on both the Tracer and the Echo was absolutely large and in charge. I'll put it that way. The Echo in the neutral, especially on that one, was absolutely just working them. A little bit of a quieter Matsu, just kind of doing your job, marking the opposing Tracer on Kings. But I mean, some of the clutches here, we get to see it right now, in fact. Just single-handedly finding fight wins on the Tracer, and not just finding value picks, I mean actually killing everybody. Look at this, it's nuts!
Yeah, you can call this a generational performance, especially on Suravasa from Saikoka. And again, this is another player, right? As well with Ton Mikita, that if you need DPS players and you don't want to have to pay someone like the really top flight ones, these two right here are on that could be on a level. They could be making their name in the upcoming OWCS season.
Of course, if you have the money, I'm sure they'd love to be paid.
Oh yeah, of course.
But especially, we heard in the interview there with Octa that not only is Saikoka a good DPS player, they're also quite vocal in the comms. And to have both the ability as a pop-off player and a communicative player, like that's a love sandwich for a team that could really like turn things very well for them. Before like we go into the match, we're talking about like how important it is to choose like the duplicate, right? And we saw a few different options there, especially when Queen came out, going on the Mauga as well. What kind of like stood out to you, Ray, in terms of like the usage of the duplicate and how Saikoka was using that ultimate to kind of leverage like wins on those fights?
I feel like
Oh, sorry.
We lost
it was very delayed for me for some reason. It was extremely delayed. I'm like listening.
Yeah, I have a bit of lag as well. Yeah.
I just when it came to Saikoka, it just felt like whenever there was any kind of stress or any kind of big time situation for the side of the God Stack, they came through in spades. Like as Joker mentioned many times, Suravasa was on a tail's edge at certain points where you're like, I was looking at this and like, damn, my 3-0 is going to be wrong. And then in comes Saikoka on Tracer and just kills 3. I'm just like, okay, all right, it might be safe now. So that's one thing to always keep in mind going forward. Not only do they have the consistent skill, but when the lights shine the brightest, they come through.
Exactly. And while the lights may be dimming here on the SNO desk for EU, there is still some NA content to watch. Later tonight will be the NA SNO desk, where they will be going over the matchup of and RRG JV. I don't care if you say the first team a different way, I just like saying it like that. It'll be 8:30 Eastern time, so again, if you're NA watching this, then that's regular time for you. But if you're EU, you can watch this one late at night. But before we close up, I want to just have a little bit of a look at the updated bracket for this tier, because we've seen now 2 of the loser bracket matches up until this point. The God Stack has really been making their way back. They got taken out quite heavily by Special Forces in 3-0, but God Stack have talked about how they haven't always had all their players. If God Stack has all their players, Special Forces has all their players, this Grand Finals, it might not be an open tier, but in GM, I'm really excited for this. I hope we are able to broadcast it. We definitely will be looking to, especially if we can even get a desk on it, because watching this story of the God Stack fight back from losers into the Grand Finals and potentially being the champions, it just really, really is exciting. But let's go over some of our final thoughts then on this matchup. Spec, what are your kind of final thoughts here on what we've seen?
The more we see teams try and not play Echo Reaper Malga, the more they lose to Echo Reaper Malga. It's meta, guys. Learn how to play it.
Well, it's only relevant for like 5 days or whatever it is now.
They've had all this time. They've had like a month. 2, in fact.
That is fair. Maybe there's just like a resistance to the players, like, I just don't want to play it.
I think they're always like, surely they're going to nerf Malga. Surely they're going to nerf Juno. And it's like,
No.
Yes, we'll all be praying on the day that the new season comes out, I'm sure. I'll be praying for some hazard buffs, if I'm being honest, because I will be maining the new Scottish tank. Joker, what are your final thoughts on this matchup?
My thoughts are, Gio, you were always going to play hazard even if it was bad or not.
That is true. That is fair. You got me there.
But also, I mean, I said it before, if you have the DPS power that the God Stack has, you don't really need to be good at Echo Reaper Mauga. They're still good at it, but when hopefully the meta changes on Tuesday, they can still adapt to it and prove that they're not only just good at this one comp, they're good at multiple.
Exactly, and that's what we need to see from these teams: the ability to check those patch notes and adapt on the fly, because things are heating up. The finals are just around the corner. There's only one match left in this tier, and it's the grand finals. What are your thoughts, Ray, as things begin to heat up and we get to these final matchups?
Yeah, my final thoughts once again are going to be, what do teams look to do? Like with the new patch, we talked about how being able to adjust and make quick decisions and play different compositions is going to be a big thing. But we've also seen early on in a lot of patches, teams just stick to what the last meta was while they're still trying to figure out what's good in the new patch. So that's gonna be the big question, is for this final week, do we still see Malga for a week because teams are still trying to feel out and figure out what the new meta is, or do we kind of have a picture and idea very quickly and teams adjust to it fast?
Exactly. Are they comfortable in the Mauga skin, or are they going to shed it the moment they can and move on to the next tank? Again,
I mean, who knows?
quite
We're talking about
all.
all this when literally they could just add hazard, not make a bunch of changes, and we're still in Amalgam meta. So who knows?
Guys, I think they decided to buff Mauga. You want an extra 100 HP?
Yeah, Mauga and Juno are actually getting buffed from per the streets.
Yeah,
I heard they're reverting Orbital Ray back to what it was on release.
Guys, stop. I'm not going to show up for NA SNO.
They're actually, the only change is they're just bringing Brig back to what she was on release as well.
OG Brig back.
OG Brig was better than this. That's my take. Good lords.
Yeah,
all right,
but
before we descend into
Brig and Juno at the same time.
Oh god, I just see hellscapes ahead of me. But before we descend into madness, theory crafting the worst patch we can, we will say goodbye to you, and we will see you on the NA desk. So don't forget to laugh loud and love yourself, folks, and we'll see you on the NA desk.